right. Excuse me. Good morning. I am pretty excited about today's test, and I'm excited because it's using regular expressions, which are something that I've used in the past for other work that I've done, but never really understood. So when I saw that this morning's test was going to be about IP validation and that it uses regular expressions, I really wanted to take this opportunity to learn a little bit more about what that meant. So I opened up a couple of resources and started reading. First of all, I've got W3 Schools in here. I also really enjoyed the MTN regular expression page and found it really, really helpful to understand what these special characters meant. And then I used, where is it? This regex pal to be able to test my code in advance. So what we've got is we need to write an algorithm that will identify valid IPv4. The thing to know about IPv4 is that it's 4 octets of 8-byte characters. So it's how do I say this? You'll notice that these are valid in that 1, 2, 3, and 4 are less than 8 bytes, and there are 4 of them. This would be totally valid, except that 456 is too big. It's more than 8 bytes. And this would be valid, except that what? This would be valid except that it's 5 octets. And this is interesting. I need to, leading zeros are not considered valid. So I don't yet know how I'm going to handle that. What I've been thinking about in advance was kind of how to write a regular expression that would work for more of the standard cases. So if we take this and go over here, then we've got, what do we have? So we know this is kind of how a regular expression works. So we know that we're looking for a number that's 1 to 3 integers, little d is a digit, and then there are 1 to 3 of them. Because if you have more than 3, and actually this is not going to work because this would work too. So what I was looking for first was understanding, and I'm still going to do it this way because I want to use regular expressions to do a test. And then what we'll do is if you pass the first test, we will verify that all of the details are right, so that we'll then do the loop and make sure that you are less than 255 and all of that jazz. So notice when I do this, I've got 4 matches, but that's actually not quite right because I want to make sure that 3 digits are followed by a period or preceded by a period. So then I'm looking for so I'm escaping my period so that I can search for this. And then I want to say that the last part is 1 to 3 characters, but it can only appear at the end. So very similarly, we've got 1 to 3 and happens at the end. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and go back to the code that I was looking at. So I got, which is what I just wrote, I thought. I got this to work for me. You can't slip in any letters, which I thought was important. Yeah. So when I run this, you can see down here, I've got a true and a false. So let's go back here and let's train. Is valid IP of the string return false? Excuse me. So we're going to be working on a test here, and if the test passes, we will return true. If it passes and there are several conditions met. Equals pattern. I'm going to just throw that in there. Yeah, that pattern. So I've got my pattern that I think should work to identify whether or not it's a valid series of octets. What I now also need to understand is, are there only 4 octets, and are there any leading zeros? So let's turn the string into an array separated by periods. So let array of string equal to string dot splice. No slice. Let array of string equal string dot slice. Nope. Split. Yes, split is what I'm looking for. And my separator is going to be a period. So now I can say let length, well, so I've got a couple tests. Test 1. Did the pattern match? Test 2. Is the length of the array of string equal to 4? Because that's my 4 octets. And test 3. Are each of the elements less than 255? Test 4, are each no element starts with a leading 0. Okay, so let's write those tests. So let test 1 equal to pattern dot test of the string. let test.2 or test2 equal to array of string dot length dot test equals how do I do a test like this? I just wanted to return true if this is condition, if this, oh, well, I can do an if statement. If is less than 4, return true. And it actually needs to be 4 octets, right? This is not valid. So the length needs to be 4. Let test3 equal, okay, so 4, let I equal to 0, I less than array of string dot length, I plus plus. And what I'm doing here is I'm asking if the array, oh, this is a typo, of I return if number. So I'm forcing some coercion, which will remove the leading 0, which is why we need that test, that fourth test. Less than 256. Return true. Else return false. Okay, so a better way to do this would be to do array of string dot every, I think. Yeah. So the way the every method works is it only passes if all of the tests pass. So array 1 here has all these numbers, is below threshold. The current threshold is less than 40. Current value is less than 40, returns. And then if that's true for all of them, then it will return true. So where was I? For every element, and then let test4 equal so here I can say for every element, the element and its number are the same. So I can kind of convert coerce into a number and then coerce back. So this if so what I'm worried about here is that if this is true, it's going to return true, and then we'll exit the function, which is actually not what I'm looking for. What I want to do is I want to put them in a block and say all 4 of these things need to be true. So I'm going to bring it down here just because I'm a little bit more comfortable with this console, or this editor rather. Yeah. So just to see, so test 1 passes, which is not surprising, but then it's returning true, or returning false anyway. And so what I want to know is if test 1 equals true, test 2 equals true, not as assigned, but is actually equal. And it's not commas, but so all of these things need to be true. Let's do this one down here. So test 2. So test 2 is not actually true, but test 2 says less than 4. Or rather, equivalent to 4. Test 3. Well, I want that to return true. And test 4 should also return true. Return true. And so we only get to the false if not all 4 of these are true. So let's take a look. Test 1 returns true. Test 2 returns 4. Test 3 returns true. Test 4 returns true. Okay, so the first one returned true. And then test 2 is the one that fails here. So we return false. Okay, so that looks like it did it. Let's throw this in there. Run my sample tests. Okay, unhandled rejection. Should test for something. I think they want me to write my cool. So we have to write our own test-driven design today. So solution function, it should test for something. Test asserts actual expected. Okay, so I don't know how to do that, so I'm going to say that I returned this, and I will do another video later for how to write my own test-driven design, which will be exciting. Thanks for watching. Bye.